Hello everyone, and hello my clean-shaven face. Yes, I know I've had a beard for a while. I had to grow some facial fur in order to facilitate some of the characters in my latest impressions video, but that's all over and done with now, so I was able to come home last night and shave it all off, and I am enjoying it so much. Hang on, I need a moment. But anyway, if you don't know already, I actually managed to procure myself a free Quran. I think my university has like a Muslim society, and they were handing them out for free, which is awesome. They were also handing out other literatures, such as this, The Meaning of the Glorious Quran. The Glorious Quran, the actual Quran says the Noble Quran on it. Jesus, Islam, up yourself. For people who are always going on about modesty, maybe bring it down a touch. I also got various little pamphlets about Islam, for instance, 7 fundamental questions about Islam, human rights in Islam, what does Islam say about adultery and fornication, the Quran and modern science, new research demolishes evolution. I'm sure it does. But possibly the most interesting pamphlet I found was this one, entitled Answers to Non-Muslims' Common Questions About Islam. And if you look closely, you'll see that it's written by a Mr. Zakir Naik. Now, the more diligent among my subscribers will remember that I actually dealt with Zakir Naik and his ridiculous arguments a little while ago. But I had a quick look through some of the arguments in this pamphlet, and he has actually managed to get even crazier. So let's take a look. Now, I'm not going to talk about all the arguments in here because they literally have about 20 different issues, but I am going to look at some of the more interesting arguments in a little bit more detail. For instance, first of all, we have the issue of polygamy. Again, I'm not going to talk about every single facet of every single argument because it is quite a long pamphlet as pamphlets go. But let's just have a quick look. Number 1, polygamy. Why is a man allowed to have more than one wife in Islam? i.e., why is polygamy allowed in Islam? First of all, we have to define polygamy. Polygamy means a system of marriage whereby one person has more than one spouse. Polygamy can be of 2 types. One is polygyny, where a man marries more than one woman, and the other is polyandry, where a woman marries more than one man. In Islam, limited polygyny is permitted, whereas polyandry is completely prohibited. Now, it gives many interesting reasons as to why polygyny is permitted. For instance, it says the Quran is the only religious scripture in the world that says marry only one, but it then goes on to qualify that by quoting Al-Quran 4:3, marry women of your choice, 2 or 3 or 4, but if you fear that you shall not be able to deal justly with them, then only one. So it says marry only one if you can only deal with one wife. If you think you can handle 3 or 4 wives, fucking go for it, son! But it's number 6 and 7 that I think are most interesting. Number 6, world female population is more than the male population. In the USA, women outnumber men by 7.8 million. New York alone has 1 million more females as compared to the number of males. And of the male population of New York, 1/3 are gays, i.e. sodomites. The USA as a whole has more than 25 million gays. This means that these people do not wish to marry women. Great Britain has 4 million more females as compared to males. Germany has 5 million more females as compared to males. Russia has 9 million more females than males. And then all this carries on into number 7. Restricting each and every man to only have one wife is not practical. Even if every man got married, there would still be more than 30 million females in the USA who would not be able to get husbands, considering that America has 25 million gays. There would be more than 4 million females in Great Britain, 5 million females in Germany, and 9 million females in Russia alone who would not be able to find a husband. First of all, if you're taking male gays into account, you've got to take female gays into account. And I think that alone might cover the discrepancy, if you want to call it that. Second of all, when you look at the total population of these countries, 5 million isn't actually that much. If we take the statistic that there are 7.8 million more females in the USA than there are males, we still have to look at that in context of the fact that as of 2010, there are over 300 million people in America. And of those women, you've got to take into account the fact that some of them are going to be gay, and I'm guessing some of them just don't want to get married. In other words, it is completely practical for one man to only have one wife. But just in the interest of fairness, let's move on to why women can't have more than one husband. Again, it lists several silly arguments. For instance, number 2 is, man is more polygamous by nature as compared to a woman. Fantastic. What about all the women out there who just want to have 4 husbands. They're getting shortchanged. But I do like the fact that he's using differences in population as justification for allowing polygyny, but prohibiting polyandry. Because fuck, woman, haven't you been listening? Cock is scarce! We don't live in a magical fairyland world where we can walk down the street and just lazily pick cock off of an overhanging branch. For God's sake, cock does not grow on trees! Moving on. Number 3, hijab for women. Now, obviously, this could probably constitute an entire video, but the most hilarious argument I see in here is as follows. Number 6, the example of twin sisters. Suppose 2 sisters who are twins, and who are equally beautiful, walk down the street. One of them is attired in the Islamic hijab, i.e. the complete body is covered except for the face and the hands up to the wrists. The other is wearing Western clothes, or a miniskirt. Just around the corner there is a hooligan or ruffian who is waiting for a catch to tease a girl. Whom will he tease? The girl wearing the Islamic hijab, or the girl wearing the miniskirt? Ask yourselves, people of the West. If there is a hooligan or ruffian waiting around the corner to tease a girl, do you think he's going to tease a girl who is wearing Western clothing, or the one wearing a fucking burqa? Obviously, he doesn't exactly mean that. What he's talking about is the fact that you won't want to rape a woman in a burqa. You can't see anything. But to be quite honest, as we've established here on YouTube, that's just disgusting, because all it's doing is laying the blame for rape onto the victim. Yes, you could say to a woman who has gotten drunk and walked through the street at night on her own that it was a stupid thing to do, but none of that implies that she is to blame for her own rape. Because guess what? That's actually kind of insulting to the men as well. The idea that if women just wear different clothing, we can't control ourselves. We just have to fucking rape people. No, men can exercise judgment there and choose not to rape. Ergo, if a man does choose to rape, it is entirely his fucking fault. This is a good one. Argument number 5. Every Muslim should be a terrorist. Every Muslim should be a terrorist. A terrorist is a person who causes terror. No, it isn't. A terrorist is someone who attacks civilians to further a political goal. You can't just take the literal meaning of the word terrorist and apply that however you want. That's like saying a bin man is literally a man who is also a bin. But anyway, the moment a robber sees a policeman, he is terrified. Ergo, a policeman is a terrorist for the robber. Similarly, every Muslim should be a terrorist for the antisocial elements of society, such as thieves and rapists. Whenever such an antisocial element sees a Muslim, he should be terrified. It is true that the word terrorist is generally used for a person who causes terror among the common people. Smart, this one. But a true Muslim should only be a terrorist to selective people, i.e. antisocial elements, and not the common people or innocent people. In fact, a Muslim should be a source of peace for innocent people. Why on earth would you go out of your way to brand yourself a terrorist? It doesn't matter what definition you're using. Unfortunately for you, Zakir Naik, when most people hear the word terrorist, they think of, oh, I don't know, 9/11, the Madrid bombings, 7/7 bombings, the IRA, the ETA. They think of people who are blowing up innocent civilians. So why would you say, I'm a terrorist? Not what you think though. I'm a terrorist towards antisocial elements of society. That's like saying I'm a rapist of crime. Number 6, eating non-vegetarian food. Again, lots of stupid arguments, but the funniest one is number 9. Even plants can feel pain. They argue that plants cannot feel pain, therefore killing a plant is a lesser crime as compared to killing an animal. Today science tells us that even plants can feel pain, but the cry of the plant cannot be heard by the human being. This is due to the inability of the human ear to hear sounds that are not in the audible range, i.e. 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. Anything below and above this range cannot be heard by a human being. A dog can hear anything up to 40,000 Hz. Thus there are silent dog whistles that have a frequency of more than 20 Hz and less than 40,000 Hz. Come on, come on, come on. These whistles are only heard by dogs and not by human beings. The dog recognizes the master's whistle and comes to the master. There was research done by a farmer in the USA. A farmer in the USA, that's your source. I have research done by who? A farmer. Anyway, there was research done by a farmer in the USA who invented an instrument which converted the cry of the plant so that it could be heard by human beings. He was able to realize immediately when the plant itself cried for water. Latest researchers show that the plants can even feel happy and sad. It can also cry. Number 8. Non-vegetarian food makes Muslims violent. Science tells us that whatever one eats, it has an effect on one's behaviour. Yeah, to an extent. I mean, if you drink lots of alcohol, you're going to get drunk, you're going to slur your speech, you're going to lose a lot of inhibitions, you're going to lose motor control. But that's because alcohol has a specific effect on how the body works. Listen, though, to how Mr. Zakir Naik takes the phrase, science tells us that whatever one eats, it has an effect on one's behaviour, and twists it into possibly the funniest religious argument ever. Science tells us that whatever one eats, it has an effect on one's behaviour. Why then does Islam allow Muslims to eat non-vegetarian food, since the eating of animals could make a person violent and ferocious? That's weird, what do you mean? Eating animals makes you violent and ferocious? What do you mean by that? Answer number 1. Only the eating of herbivorous animals is allowed. I agree that when a person eats, it has an effect on his behaviour. This is one of the reasons why Islam prohibits the eating of carnivorous animals, like lion, tiger, leopard, etc., who are violent and ferocious. The consumption of the meat of such animals would probably make a person violent and ferocious. Islam only allows the eating of herbivorous animals like cow, goat, sheep, etc. that are peaceful and docile. Muslims eat peaceful and docile animals because Muslims are peace-loving and non-violent people. So you're telling me, Mr. Naik, that we don't eat leopards and lions and tigers because if we did, we would literally take on the attributes of those animals. Zakir Naik literally believes that if you eat the meat of violent and ferocious animals, you will literally become violent and ferocious. You will imbibe the spirit of these animals and you will take on their attributes. Oh my Christ. However, possibly the funniest argument out of this entire pamphlet is number 11, pork is forbidden. Question, why is the eating of pork forbidden in Islam? And it goes through all the motions in several arguments, talks about the Quran, the Bible, how the consumption of pork can give you diseases. But number 5 and number 6 are far away the best. Number 5, the pig is one of the filthiest animals on earth. It lives and thrives in muck, feces and dirt. In the villages they don't have modern toilets, and the villagers excrete in the open air. Very often, excreta is cleared by pigs. You shit-eating pig, you. You filthy fucking shit-eating pig. Oh, pigs. Eating shit all the time. Some may argue that in advanced countries like Australia, pigs are bred in very clean and hygienic conditions. Even in these hygienic conditions, the pigs are kept together in sties. No matter how hard you try to keep them clean, they are filthy by nature. They eat and enjoy their own, as well as their neighbours' excreta. Why is Zakir Naik so obsessed with creating this image of pigs that they are constantly trying to eat as much shit as they can? That's ridiculous. Pigs cannot exist on shit. Shit is not a healthy diet for any animal. But hang on, argument number 6 for why pork is forbidden is far and away the best paragraph in the entire pamphlet. And it harks back to that thing about you are what you eat. I.e., if you eat a tiger, you'll become like a tiger. Number 6. The pig is the most shameless animal. The pig is the most shameless animal on the face of the earth. It is the only animal that invites its friends to have sex with its mate. In America, and remember kids, if you preface your sentence with "in America," people will believe whatever you say. Let me give you an example. In America, it is considered polite at dinner parties to shoot your host in the face. See, I believe that as long as they say "in America" before it. But anyway, in America, many times after dance parties, and I think we all know what that means, they have the swapping of wives, i.e. many say, "Hey buddy, you sleep with my wife, and I'll sleep with your wife." Ergo, if you eat pigs, then you will behave like pigs. So you're telling me, Mr. Naik, that if you eat pork, you will become a swinger. Holy fucking shit. I have been eating pork my entire life, and that has never happened to me. Maybe I just don't go to enough dance parties. So yeah, according to Zakir Naik, men can have lots of wives, but women can't have many husbands because, like I said, cock is scarce. Dick needs to be rationed, for Christ's sake. Otherwise we are seriously at risk of running out of penis. Someone call Al Gore. Make a film about it. An inconvenient, penis-related truth. Also, Muslims should be terrorists, just not in the way that most people and political scientists understand the term terrorist. Also, eating animals will make you like that animal, which means that I am absolutely going to try eating more pork. And my worst fears have been confirmed. Islamic apologetics is just as stupid as Christian apologetics. See you later, everyone.